Thanks to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. As you can assume, I live a fast food heavy, no sleep, on the go lifestyle, so I started taking AG1 Next Gen as part of my daily routine. I did this because I know I don't get enough nutrition eating poorly on the road when covering races. AG1 Next Gen is your daily health drink. It includes 5 clinically studied probiotics with additional vitamins and minerals to offer even greater support for your energy and whole body health. My preferred method of drinking AG1 Next Gen is to use the travel packets and pour it in a cold bottle of water. These things are great because I can throw a handful of them in my toiletry bag and grab them on the go. I've always got bottles of water everywhere I go to start things off the right way in the morning. So we're gonna tear this off, pour in, shake it up, and we're good to go. Alternatively, you can use the scoop and shaker that comes in the welcome kit. Because of my weird diet on the road, I have gut health issues, and the 5 probiotics I mentioned earlier really helped me with that with AG1 Next Gen. I also noticed an increase in energy without having to drink extra caffeine throughout the day, which is great for me. And I have a great peace of mind knowing that Next Gen helps support my immune health while I'm on the road. The cost comes in just under $3 per day, which is a lot cheaper than buying individual supplements instead. Use the link in our description or scan the QR code on the screen to get started and receive $76 of free extras when you subscribe. Give AG1 Next Gen a try and let me know about your experience.
What is up, 1320 fans? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of 1320 Garages. We're pretty stoked about this one.
Definitely.
We hope you guys are stoked about this one. We are down here in Georgia, around the Atlanta area, and it's beautiful out right now. It's a little rainy, but that's not going to stop us from having a good time today. We're with somebody that you guys know and love. You've seen him on Hot Rod, you've seen him in Finnegan's Garage, Mr. Mike Finnegan. Let's go knock on the door, see what he's up to today.
Good morning.
Hey!
What's up, Fred? How you doing, brother?
Good.
Come on in. My name is Mike Finnegan, and welcome to my garage.
Thank you. First of all, this is the basement of your house?
Yeah, we are 2 stories down. Ground floor basement garage, basically, which is fairly common here in Georgia because occasionally we get pretty bad storms. And coming from Southern California, because that's where I grew up, this is not normal. And when I lived there, I had an apartment and I rented shop space. When I moved here, the entire shop is under the house.
Right, and just to say, this isn't probably a normal size one for over here, is it?
No, I bought this house specifically because the garage is massive. You can park 6 cars in here if you try hard enough. Jesus. We usually keep it to whatever 3 things I'm working on at the time. The rest of everything is sitting in a warehouse nearby. But this is the stuff I'm either actively wrenching on or testing or making videos about for YouTube.
Gotcha. Well, let's take a walk over here and see what we're looking at.
Okay. So on the left is one of my favorite things to drive ever is a Jetboat. And this is a 2016 Cheyenne carbon fiber Jetboat.
Carbon fiber. How much does it weigh?
So come over here, look at this. So the entire hull, this is all paint. The entire hull is carbon and it weighs 300 pounds. It's very, very light.
Just the body?
Just the body. If you took the boat, if you took the motor, the seat, and the jet drive out of it, 300 pounds. So the acceleration is wild.
Okay, let's power plant. What are we looking at? That's obviously a big block.
Yeah, it's a big block Chevy, like what you'd find in a drag car, all aluminum deal. It's a Dart block, Dart Big Chief heads, HRE tunnel ram, dual Gen 3 dominators, naturally aspirated, makes 1,200 horsepower.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the entire boat, like ready to rip, is probably about 1,300 pounds.
And it makes 1,000 horsepower?
1,200.
It makes, so it's almost a horsepower per pound.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, dude.
Yeah.
Does the jet drive, is that, it's not a prop, so it's not super instant, but it probably ramps in pretty aggressive.
Pretty close, dude.
Gotcha.
Like it's not as efficient as a drag car. Like if you took this engine and put it in a drag car, going faster automatically. Because you have to overcome the water drag. But once it's on plane, the hit is, oh, dude, it's badass.
Hey! I need to talk to you! Hey!
This is our last day for your chance to win this ZR1 and $20,000 cash. 7 entries right now till midnight on 1320video.com. Links in the description below. This ZR1 only has 9,000 miles on it. It's got 638 horsepower from the factory. It's bone stock except for exhaust. It sounds amazing. Stick shift manual, LS9, and it could be yours along with $20,000 cash. So click the link in the description below. You only got a few hours left. You could be driving away in this ZR1 with 20 grand. Woo!
So is this the fastest boat you've ever built?
No.
What the hell, dude?
I built another one that had a 711 cubic inch Sunny Leonard Hemi.
That was a twin one.
And twin turbos. That's the one that Cletus drove. It's on his YouTube channel. There's a bunch of videos on mine. That one was way gnarlier.
And that made...
I only ran it on 10 pounds of boost, so I'm guessing it was probably about 1,700 when Cletus drove it.
I don't know what it is about like the boat thing, but it's like the boats just seem so... I'm around race cars all day.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
But these seem so much more dangerous for some reason.
They're dumb. I mean, genuinely. Like
it's like I even think these are like more dangerous than a motorcycle because like I don't know, the water, there's so many variables and geez, just like one little, and there's no seatbelt. Well, I'm not saying a seatbelt would help you in this situation, but
you have an excellent grasp of it. It's really dumb.
But you have so much fun doing it.
Oh yeah. Well, like you know, there's bikinis, and there's no cops usually, and there's a lot of freedom on the water.
That's fair.
But it is probably not the smartest thing you can do. Like you said, the surface of the water changes every second, so you're constantly looking for a rogue wave that's going to put this thing in the air and make you crash. If one wire comes loose and the motor shuts off, there's no brakes, there's no clutch, there's no seatbelt. You're crashing. You're getting thrown out. So it's really not smart. I don't recommend it, but it's a lot of fun.
So kicking the episode off with your safest vehicle.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. You want to see the Cadillac?
I'll see anything. Dude. I like your tool setup here.
Yeah, so I have 3 Snap-on boxes. Only one of them has Snap-on tools in them. The rest of them are Harbor Freight and Craftsman and whatever I can afford.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah. These are, oh my God, these are...
God, this is your nice set.
Yeah. This is the everyday, use it. You know, we've got to take something apart and we want to know where the 10mm socket is. It's organized in here. The other boxes are full of fabrication tools that Snap-on doesn't make. And we can do pretty much almost anything in here. We've got tools to assemble motors, welders, grinders. I have a mill, a small lathe. We can fabricate most anything.
This is the best, I will say, the best basement house shop I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. 100%. And this isn't even your big shop.
No. The other one is where all the cars are at. And that one, we're so spoiled down here. It's climate controlled in here. The other one is not. It's just a metal building with cars in it. So
well, it's still.
There's only a few times a year you actually want to work in that shop.
Gotcha.
Right now is one of them, but in another month, no, we won't work in there.
Tell me about this Cadillac.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite new builds you have going right now.
Okay, so I grew up reading Hot Rod Magazine, and I actually got to work there. Starting in 2009, and from 2009 to about 2013, I would go to Hot Rod Drag Week and film and photograph these legends and get to write their stories, and I just got hooked. I was like, I want to do what they do. And so I built Blasphemy first to do drag and drive stuff, and what I realized about that car is, strategically speaking, the more people you can bring with you, the more fun it is and the better off you are, you know, when you're at the track if something goes wrong. And so I always thought, you know, a station wagon or a bus, or I need something with more room. You know, I want to bring more friends with me. And one day I found this in an airplane hangar in California, and it had 46,000 original miles on it. It was clean.
Damn.
And I cut it up, and people were pissed. But those people are wrong. And so I built it so that we could fit the bench seat in it with 3 people, 2 people up front. I want to run 8s at a drag and drive with my friends and have air conditioning and then drive to Vegas and just, I want a real quote unquote street car.
So there's going to be full chassis.
Yeah.
Big block, twin turbo, 5-seater.
Yeah.
61?
Yep.
61 Cadillac.
Yeah.
This is a party wagon, my guy.
Oh, dude.
This is going to be so cool.
It makes me so happy. And one of the other reasons I build these things is I love learning new things. I tend not to do the same thing twice. So this will be the first car I've ever owned that's on methanol. This is the probably second or third full turbo kit I've ever built. There's just a bunch of things I learned while building this. I bought the chassis but everything else we're doing here in-house. The wiring, the plumbing, the turbo kit, the fuel system, all of it will be done here. And yeah, I've never had a Cadillac before, so this is exciting.
And you're hoping to have this done
this year.
This year?
Yeah, we're driving this year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Weld Alpha V-Box.
What size tire are we working? It's gonna be.
It's a 32 in the back.
I love it, dude. It's the fact that the Cadillac is swallowing a 32.
Yeah, and the side skirts are removable, so you can get the wheels off, which is rad. I'll show you the back end of it. The company that made the chassis went out of business, but it's kind of a street rod styled 2x4 mandrel bent deal.
This was a custom chassis for this car?
For this car, yeah. I drove the Cadillac into their place, and in one day we cut the entire floor out of it and dropped the body on this chassis.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it's got a quick performance full floater 9-inch Viking coilovers. Those are Mickey Thompson 32x16s.
Biggins.
And yeah, and there's, look at all the, I'm hoping, this is hopefully to pull the drag boat. I'm hoping not to pull a trailer on a drag and drive because it has such a giant trunk that I'm like, we can fit suitcases in a tool bag.
Oh yeah.
I feel like.
You're gonna have 5 suitcases though.
Yeah, well we'll make a roof rack if we have to.
Oh,
you know?
dude.
Caddy roof rack, I feel
like. A roof rack that goes with the lines of the fins here?
Yeah.
Dude. Actually, okay, yeah.
So this, hopefully this is running and driving this year. That's the plan. Back into the shop is where most of the magic happens. This is the fab area. That's a Grob 24-inch vertical bandsaw that was made in like 78. That Bridgeport mill is from like 1974. I brought that with me from California. The rest of the stuff I've all acquired over the years, like the snap-on boxes and and all the tools and stuff. And this is just everything we use to build a header or, brackets.
All fab work that's done on your cars is done here.
Yeah. There's only one car that I own that I'm not doing the bulk of the fab work on. And that one, we'll show it to you later. It's a Lexus that's at a chassis shop because that car will be fast enough to really be dangerous.
That thing, I'm excited to see.
Yeah, and that one I'm like, this is a realm I'm way over my head in, and I'm not going to pretend I know what I'm doing. I'm not trying to set up a 200-mile-an-hour car.
Right.
So that's somewhere else. But everything else here, like 135-mile-an-hour Jetboat, we got it. We can do that. What else? Back here, this is the clean area where we weld stuff. I have one welder out there, a Miller Multimatic 220. I'll use that to tack stuff together on the car. Mm-hmm. And then I'm not a very good out of position welder. Like if I'm upside down trying to TIG weld, I suck at it. So most everything I try to bring in here and weld. And that's a Dynasty 400. That's just like a Cadillac of welding.
You got such a nice setup down here, dude. We're spoiled. This is nice. I have a detached garage at my house. It's big enough for my cars and maybe some tools.
I've seen it. I've seen your Corvette. I love it.
I'm so jealous of this whole. This is such a nice setup. You have a welding area, fab area.
Yeah, well, and I played a lot of Tetris, and anybody that's ever worked here or is friends with me knows once a month I'll rearrange the whole thing. I'll go, well, this would be better here. And we've taken out entire walls. There were 3 walls dividing all this up when I moved here. And so we had laminated beams put in overhead, and we took out the walls, and that just opened up everything. This wasn't here before. The mill was in here when I first moved here. And I just keep moving stuff around until it works better for me.
I think it just fits better.
Yeah. We got a hose crimper for making hoses when you don't want to screw them together.
You really don't have to go anywhere. Jeez.
No, we don't. It's a random Sonny Leonard Hemi just hanging out.
Hang on. Shop fridge. We got to take a look at the shop fridge.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right, so my wife likes to throw parties, so I can't really claim everything in here.
Dude, this is the most loaded shop fridge. Normally we open these things and guys are like, they have like something of mayonnaise and a half drunk beer. This thing is set up, dude.
The entire neighborhood ends up at my house. My wife, very social, loves to entertain people. And so this is always full of something for somebody, whether you want, a Liquid Death or a Modelo or a Blasphemy beer.
You have your own beer?
I don't, actually. So it's not mine. Funny story. This dude, I don't know if it was Instagram or email. He's like, hey, I have a brewery in Arizona, and I made this beer. Is that okay? And I was like, does it taste good? He's like, well, yeah. And I was like, I don't care. Go ahead, make whatever money you make on it. Just send me some so I can try it.
Right.
And I did, and dude, it's great. And I'm not really an IPA kind of guy, but he mixed it with a lager, to kind of mellow it out, and it's actually pretty good beer.
Nice.
So if you go to Richter Ale Works, they won't ship it, but if you go to Richter Ale Works in Arizona, they have car-themed beers, like all their taps. And
really?
They made a Blasphemy beer, and they made a side chick beer, my drag boat. And I don't make any money off of it. It's just really cool stuff. They're really cool guys. So support small breweries if you can.
There you go.
Yeah. Skateboards for you want to get dangerous. My kids are super into, well, everything. They love wakeboarding and wake surfing and skateboarding, and they're psychos. I think they get it from their mother, because this is her boat.
This is the mom boat?
Yeah, nobody believes me when I tell them that. This is my wife's jet boat.
I mean, it's like the minivan. It's like a 5-seater, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the Cadillac on the water. It's a 2022 Eliminator Custom Boats 21-foot-long Daytona. This is fiberglass, so the hull weighs 600 pounds instead of the 300 that the Carlo one did. But it has a twin-turbo LS in it, and it makes, I don't know, we never dined on it, probably 1,300. And the boat goes about 115 while hauling 5 people in it. And it's got a ski tow and a swim step, and we pull our kids' tubing behind it. Not at 115, but
yes.
You know, don't call CPS, all right? Please. But it's a cool boat. So this is another one of those. I'd never built one of these, and I wanted to learn new things. And so this tank on this side holds 25 gallons of pump gas, right?
Okay.
And it has its own air-motive fuel pump built into it, and its own set of 8 injectors on this intake. On the other side of the Frankenstein intake is a 6-gallon fuel cell I made with another pump and another set of injectors. And basically, you just cruise around at part throttle on pump gas, but the moment you roll into it and it says, here's 5 pounds of boost and 30% TPS, it switches. You don't even tell it. Then you're on race fuel. And so I can go all weekend on 6 gallons of race fuel, but we can drive at 50 miles on, 25 gallons of pump gas.
That's nice.
And I'd never done it, and I always want to try it. And Kevin Smith from KSR helped me set it up, and so did Pete Harrell at ATD. They helped me set up the fuel systems. They actually came here. And so I'm not much of a tuner. Like, I can fabricate stuff. Like, we built all this stuff to make this work, but those dudes came out to the lake, put on their shorts, and we drove it around until it ran right.
Dude,
and,
nice.
Yeah, so...
And then we got a couple... Okay, is this all your wiring back here?
Yeah, so that's the Wirinator 3000.
You can wire an entire car, it looks like, with this thing.
Yeah, so I built this because I work with this company called WireCare, and they sell everything you need to wire and plumb your project. And it's all Tefsel, like the real lightweight, thin stuff. Everything they make is real good stuff. Like, they have stuff on the space shuttle. Like, it's bananas. And so this is the card I roll out when it's time to wire something or plumb something. This room is, interesting story, this room is orange because...
I did notice a few of the walls here are orange.
Yeah, it's wood paneled and it's orange because the guy I got this house from, super cool, he's my neighbor now, he was into Harleys. So he had a bike stand and a barber chair and would just hang out here, polish his Harley, watch TV. He made the bathroom. It's got a swinging door and a urinal in there.
Barn door?
Yeah, and
oh, it really is a bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can go to the bathroom in there. If you don't like Hemis, you can pee on a set of Hemi heads. Lord knows I do every now and again. It's got my magazine collection. So I used to work in magazines, right?
Right.
Me and Fred are going to the bathroom. But I worked for magazines. So this is my first job. So I used to work at Mini Truckin' Magazine back in the day, Off-Road Magazine. And these are all the magazines I've written for over the years.
So you have articles in a lot of these magazines?
All of them.
Really?
Sport Truck Magazine. I worked for Hot Boat back in the day. Actually, not all of them. Some of these are before my time. But the bulk of them is all stuff I worked on back in the day.
That is cool.
Hot Rod Magazine. All right. Well, you've seen the tools. You've seen my bathroom.
I think we've seen just about everything here.
Yeah, you've seen everything. We can go to the warehouse.
All right.
We grab some lunch, go to the warehouse, show you the cars. There's a bunch of cars there, and I think most of them run. So you guys can take some out.
All right. So Mike's going to fire up the Jetboat for us before we head over to the shop because we want to hear this thing. How many cubes is this?
This is a 632.
632.
Baby motor.
Yes. Hell yes.
It's such a good noise.
That is such a good noise. Yes.
It has good chop.
All right.
Yeah.
Now let's go to your shop and start up some other stuff.
Okay.
And we are back. We made it to your shop. Before we get too far into it, we brought you some gifts. So I wanted to give you those.
The drip logo is
our newest
awesome.
drop.
That's my favorite.
It's our turbo Harlequin drip, and then we got you. I don't know if you have anything that runs on E85.
I do.
That's our new corn shirt right there.
Nice. Blasphemy runs on E85.
Well, there you go.
Dude. Oh, hell yeah. I love it.
Hell yeah.
Boost juice. Nice. You want to go inside?
Yeah, let's freaking do it.
All right.
So this is a shop you might mainly store, would you say?
Yeah, it's a big ass metal building that
Oh my God, it's deep.
Yeah, it's kind of like that end of the Indiana Jones Museum with all the movie with all the crates and stuff in it, you know? It's really long, kind of narrow, uninsulated and un-air conditioned, so we don't ever work here during the summer.
It's about 59 degrees out right now, so it feels perfect in here right now.
Yeah, we've been here the last couple of weeks cleaning up for you guys because the place was a nightmare, and I was like, this is not a good look for us, Joe. Let's reorganize. So it's basically all parts from projects and stuff. You guys want to see the cars? You don't care about that stuff. Let's go.
Well, you got another boat here. This doesn't look quite as fast as your other one.
No, this is a wakeboarding boat. Very slow, very fun.
This thing's so long you fit a whole trailer. How long is this trailer?
This is a 28-foot ATC Rome 550.
You could fit a truck in front of it before getting to the boat and still have room for cars.
Yeah, it's not a wide building. It's a very, very long building. And then there's Blasphemy.
Hey, there we go.
And it actually runs right now, which is crazy. Because usually it's broken, but not today.
Okay, there's a few cars I recognize.
Yeah, what do you want?
That one specifically.
I love this
But run
car.
through everything.
Okay, so
what do we got?
The Motor Trend Company, going through an interesting period in its history right now. It's split into two parts. One part still in business. That's events like Hot Rod Drag Week and Hot Rod Power Tour, and websites and magazines. Still in business. The other end of that business that produced Roadkill and Hot Rod Garage and the TV shows and stuff, no longer in business. They literally shut it down. And so they sold off all the cars, and luckily they gave the host that worked on those cars an opportunity to buy them.
Gotcha.
And so I was able to buy Roadkill cars. And this is one of the first ones we ever built. This is called the Vet Cart.
This thing is legendary. You sent me a picture of this. I was like, was that a Corvette? And you're like, this is the Vet car. Like, oh, I had no idea it was still around. I was giddy like a child when you said that, dude.
So was I. When I found out I could buy it, I was like, that's the first car I want. So this began life as a 1985 Chevrolet C4 Corvette that a guy named Chad Reynolds has a website called Bankshift.
Yes,
and he
sir.
does a bunch of announcing.
Yep. We know Chad well.
This was Chad's car originally.
The Corvette?
The Chad on the Corvette, yeah. And my first assignment when I went to work for David Freiberger at Hot Rod Magazine was to hook up with Chad, put this in my shop, and rewire and plumb it so that no matter what we cut off of it, it would still run and drive. And then we went out to a racetrack and just started cutting parts off and then having a professional driver go around a road course to see what happens to a Corvette when you do that. And it went faster and faster, and then it got so light and it was so oversprung that it just got crazy to drive. And so the Vet Hack project video was born on YouTube, on the Hot Rod YouTube channel. And then later on, we decided on Roadkill to improve it. And so it got caged, it got mid-traveled, we've done so much with this car. Like, I've driven it on two wheels, I've been in the sand dunes with it, I've done drag racing, road racing. Most recently, we made our own control arms, our own 4-link, and we long traveled it. We stuck plate weights on it, and we went rally racing, we went off-road racing. I have a really good history with this car. I love it. Like, I consider this the Swiss Army knife of hot rods. Like, you can do anything with one of these.
All right, what else? That's just the tip of the iceberg. We got so many other cars to get to. What do we got? Of course, Blasphemy.
Okay, yeah. So 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air. I bought the body for $2,300 out of a backyard in Hemet, California. The chassis came from Jim Meyer Racing, and the thing about this car is it has a Chrysler Hemi, it has a Gen 2 426 based Hemi, and so that's where the name came from. And it started out as just I always wanted a 55 Chevy that looked like the car in the movie 2-Lane Blacktop. If you've ever seen that movie, it's basically two guys traveling across America, street racing for money to just keep eating and living. And I thought, these are the two coolest dudes I've ever seen in my life. I want to do that. And so this began as a really mild, slow street car that just did burnouts. And then the first time I went to Hot Rod Drag Week, I went, those are the coolest dudes I've ever seen in my life. I want to do what they're doing. So suddenly I put a blower on it. I got a little more serious about the suspension, and the car went from running like 1150s down to low 9s. And then I lost my mind again, and it's just been, how quick can I make this thing go? And it runs 8s pretty regularly now, which is fun. And I can still take my kids to school in it. And
I think it's one of my favorite cars that you own.
oh, dude,
it's so
thank
freaking
you.
cool.
It's got 3 seats. This is the car I taught myself to TIG weld on, so don't look too close at the roll cage. But David Freiberg and I and my friends, we caged it, wired it, plumbed it, made the headers, made the Hemi fit. I think we're on like our 3rd transmission at this point, probably our 3rd Hemi. It seats 3 now. Back in the day, I had mounts for kids' car seats when my kids were little, like little baby seats I had in there, and they'd wear earmuffs, and we'd just go drive around and
nice.
You know.
We'll save a little bit of this. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about this on the road possibly later.
Oh, okay, cool.
So save a little bit of the more details for later.
Okay.
Jeez, is that 3rd gen is clean.
Okay,
buddy.
so this was Doug Cook's 3rd gen.
Okay, we know Doug Cook, Motion Raceworks, Doug Cook.
Yeah. So it's a 91 Z28 with a 5-speed manual and a 305.
Has it been painted? Has it been restored? Are you serious?
This is stock, bro. It is.
Brother, this thing is clean.
It has less than 23,000 miles on it.
Oh my God.
And sadly, I don't even get to keep it. I gave it away. And so
you bought this to give it away?
I bought it to give it away. I was like, that thing is so nice. I want to drive it once and experience it, but after that, I want someone else who's into 3rd gens to experience this for the rest of their lives.
Such a clean
And so
car.
some lucky person went on my website, bought a sticker pack or shirt, I don't even know what, and they won the car.
Dude, very nice. It says 305?
305.
5-speed?
Yeah, I guess you couldn't get the 350 unless you had an automatic. So it's a 5-speed manual, came with a 305.
Gotcha.
It's fairly sporty.
It's one of the cleanest 3rd gens I've seen. All right. OBS Chevrolet? GMC.
Yeah, this one is interesting. I bought it out of Texas, completely stock with only 12,000 miles on it, and it was a V6 work truck. Rubber floor mats, the whole deal, crank windows. And in about 45 days, Joe and myself and my friends LS swapped it, supercharged it, lowered it, wheels, tires, brakes. It's on TBMs, Billet Specialties, Falcon tires. I don't know what it makes for power, but it makes like 15 pounds of boost and is uncontrollable.
So it went from a clean work truck that was just rust-free to this in a month?
Yeah, this is the stock paint. Like, we had it paint corrected. Like,
really?
Dentless door guy came out and took some dings out of it.
Did you guys add the decals?
No, it's paint. That's all paint.
No.
Yeah, had a friend of mine.
Serious?
Yeah, had a friend of mine, Chasson Brand, hand painted the graphics on it. But this is the nicest original OBS I've ever seen inside.
This is all original interior?
Stock.
No.
Yeah. It's got a hair over 13,000 miles on it. I flew into Texas, bought it, drove it home, and then we just lowered it and did all this to it.
And this, what year is this? 98?
Yeah. Yep.
I love it. I love it.
Which one?
Both.
Because I love them both.
Is that real?
The fake.
No.
Daytona.
It is definitely not real. Okay, so this car got passed around like a dirty hooker on the internet for a long time. It just kept getting sold, and it's one of the rustiest Chargers I've ever seen in my life. It was an ex-Pro Street car, never got raced. The roll cage never got finished, and the entire bottom half of it is gone. There's nothing to weld to. So it's genuinely dangerous.
Who added the nose and wing?
It was on there when I got it. I don't know. It's not a real nose. I don't think it's a real wing. I bought it as a roller that basically it had a housing that was bent, no third member, no motor, no transmission, and I had all of these leftover parts from Blasphemy. Like wheels, tires, a gearbox. I had that engine came out of the Death Metal Charger. It's a 383 big block Chrysler. I had that laying around, and so we just threw everything I had to get this running and driving, and then we road tripped it from here to Michigan for roadkill nights, and it's just a fun car.
This little truck. What are we looking at here?
So this is a 1953 Chevy 3/4 ton truck. Bone stock, repainted once. I traded a 86 Cadillac for this thing. which is wild.
What? You tried 86 Cadillac?
I had an 86.
I'm thinking like those aren't even pretty. Like,
No, they're not. That's the car you escape bad guys. You know, the bad guys in the movies.
The mobsters from the 90s drove those.
Yeah, it was a 4-door Brohammer 86 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, but it was on airbags.
Okay.
And so that made it cool for me. And a guy in Indiana wanted my Cadillac, and I was like, well, your truck's awesome. So I traded it. And then this thing hadn't run in years, so we got it running, got it driving, fixed the brakes, cruised it around, and then I traded this for that. So this is a 1940 Chevy, and this was owned by Derek Beery from Rice Creek Garage. And,
okay.
Derek and I just swapped. He's actually coming out here to drive this back.
I'll say Derek's probably got 100 cars at this point.
Yeah, he didn't.
From what I understand, he doesn't sell stuff. He like fixes it, drives it home, and then it becomes his.
Yeah, it was his idea to trade, and it surprised me. And I was like, well, cool. I like this. This would be a great B-gas car at Drag Week or something.
So this is a 40
Chevy.
40 Chevy.
It's got a big black Chevy in it, and some kind of 3-speed transmission. And it runs and drives, and I drove it about 6 hours home from Derek's place to my place, and we made it.
Proven.
I didn't think we'd make it, but we made it.
It doesn't look like a car that would make it 40 feet.
No.
That's that long.
It doesn't, but it's got character.
I like it. I like the patina on it.
Yeah.
You can't fake that type stuff.
So the green truck's going away, the orange car is staying.
Hang on, we're almost skipping over the hard body, or not hard body, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a Nissan?
No, it's a Toyota, actually.
Toyota, sorry.
This is a 85 Toyota mini truck. And it was built by my friend Alex, who's no longer with us anymore. But Alex built it, and it was airbagged, and it was on 20-inch wheels, and it was white. And then a bunch of my friends got together, and they did this paint job in 3 days during a convention.
What?
Yeah, this was a white truck, rolled into a convention. They aired up a booth, a spray booth, and like 15 guys repainted it black and did the graphics.
That's like SEMA stuff right there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's wild.
And then my friend Jason Hancock from BAD Wheels made 17-inch versions of an 80s style wheel. It's a Renault R9 looking wheel, but in a bigger, instead of a 15, it's a 17. And it's laced flat on the ground on airbags, and it's super fun.
Dude, I love the paint.
I do too. Wild. It's so 90s. I love it. And my kid's called dibs on it, so when he learns to drive, this is what he's going to drive. Yeah.
All right, truck up top. This thing looks cool as hell. What are we looking at?
It was really cool before it caught on fire. So that has an LT4 under the hood.
Oh, very nice.
So it's supercharged. It has a 6XD billet sequential gearbox in the middle. And then it's unfortunately broke because it caught on fire recently. The very last episode of Roadkill we ever filmed, I was drag racing it in California, clicked it into third, and I was winning when the drive shaft broke, and took out a fuel line and lit the truck on fire.
Uh-oh.
And so you can kind of see where it's still a little hot looking, but if you look underneath, everything's melted. When the drive shaft broke, right there at the bottom of the cab, it beat the snot out of the bottom of the cab, and then it beat up everything in front of the diff. It's fixable. It just, time and money.
Rubber duck.
Rubber duck is cool. I found this in a barn here in Georgia next to a drag strip. And it hadn't moved in 16 years, and my friends and I drug it out of the barn, got it running, took the widow of the owner of the drag strip at 10 o'clock at night and did burnouts on the drag strip. And she was so excited, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, the owner of the drag strip was super cool, and he collected a bunch of cars and traded, and just the woods around this drag strip are littered with old cars and parts. And this was one of the nicer ones in a barn, and it was a naturally aspirated big block with a turbo 400. And so we redid everything on the car.
I was going to say, have you cleaned it up? Because I swear, the first time I ever saw this or pictures of it was not this clean.
So when I got it, it was covered in dirt. It hadn't moved in decades. This was literally after one paint correction. This is how it turned out.
What?
Yeah, I didn't realize
So the dirt preserved it.
Yeah, dude, I didn't realize it was that nice. And so we did a blown 540 in it. That's a Gearstar Turbo 400 with a trans brake, a quick performance 9-inch. We did new rear suspension, new floors, new suspension, new brakes. Everything's new in it. And then we went to Rocky Mountain Race Week and ran 9.0s like every day, and survived. We didn't even use a trailer. We just drove it. It's a pretty good street car.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then up top, what we got on the top bunk here?
Oh, this one's special. So my wife's grandfather bought this car brand new in 1969.
Your wife, I've never met this woman, but she seems cool as hell.
She's a saint,
what we've talked about today.
She is a saint. Yeah, so this was a stripper model, crank windows, power nothing, no air conditioning, 352 barrel car with a turbo 350 when we got it. When we got it, it was on 4 flat tires. It had had a couple of Mako paint jobs and a whole lot of dents and rust. And I didn't tell her, but for our wedding anniversary one year, I had it restored. And yeah.
That's cool.
She didn't know.
How long was it in the shop getting restored? How long were you guys working on it?
It was gone for like a year. She had no idea.
She had no idea?
She had no idea. So now it's an LS3, 525 horse, Tremec 6-speed. It's got a 12-bolt rear end from Quick Performance. And it's like one of the best driving cars ever. It's on Ride Tech coilovers all the way around.
Oh,
and
they make good stuff.
Oh, it corners, and she loves driving.
How excited was she to see it?
Oh, I scored so many points. Like, once I did this, it almost didn't matter what other crap I brought home. Like, after that, but like this. Like, she hates this, but she doesn't care because of this.
Okay, well, I love this. Let's talk about this, okay?
Okay.
Over here, what are we looking at? Top, or let's start with the bottom bunk here.
All right, so 1968 Dodge Charger, which in my opinion is one of the best body styles and has the best taillights of any car ever created.
They're good looking. They're good looking.
Love them. This one was on eBay, all right? And a guy bought it, threw it up for sale on the internet. I bought it and then found out the story behind it. So this farmer named Joe Barry in Indiana wants to go ARCA racing in 1968 or 69. He buys a totaled Charger, builds it in his barn, and there was a deal back then where if you built a car that passed tech for ARCA, you could legally enter a NASCAR race back then. And
that seems a little fishy, but yeah, okay.
According to him. So that was his goal, right? It took him so long to build it that by the time it was done, he was out of money, and his car was now illegal for racing. And there was according to him, one race left he could go to in the year. He spent his last $50 on a car trailer, went to load it on, and the car was too wide for the trailer, so he couldn't get it to the track.
Jeez.
So he pumped it back in the barn, and it sat there for 50 years.
He prepped this thing to possibly race it in NASCAR and then never got to. And
never turned a lap.
This thing, you need to, I don't know if you have, or this is a thought in your mind, this thing needs to make a lap around a NASCAR track.
And, that never even occurred to me. It would be great. So I bought it as a roller, brought it home, immediately realized this is the deadliest car I've ever seen in my life. Like the entire roll cage is made out of water pipe, and it's just stick welded together.
Water pipe?
Water pipe. Like the rocker bars are a 1/4-inch wall, 3-inch water pipe in the bottoms of these rockers. It's gonna kill somebody if it ever gets put into a wall.
No
so
shit.
We just started calling it death metal because of that. And Tony Angelo and I, for an episode of Roadkill, we got it running with a 383 and a Tremec 6-speed, road tripped it all the way back to Indiana, and said, Joe Barry, we got your car running. Do you want to drive it around the block? Because he never drove it. And he couldn't have been less impressed by anything he's ever seen in his life. He was like, no, I'm good.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, you sure? We just drove this all the way up here. It's really cool. No, don't want to drive it.
That's so weird.
And I said, why? And he's like, it was a death trap when I built it. It's even worse now. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, we're definitely calling it death metal then.
So at least he knew what he had.
Yeah. So it kind of took the wind out of my sails for this thing. After I meet this guy, I'm like, well, he doesn't care about this car. Like, I was trying to keep some of the original parts on it that he had used. Well, he didn't care. So when I got home, I was like, forget it. We're taking the 383 out of there. And we're going to 2J swap it. And so now this car is even more fun because it makes the wrong noises in the right car.
Yeah.
I love this car.
What the hell?
So Jay from Real Street and I go to Kevin Smith's shop, and in 4 days we 2J swapped it. And then Jay put the Fireball tune in it, and it's not fast, but it's really fun in the dirt, and it makes 2J noises now. And
oh my God, that's
still
awesome.
has the T56 behind it with a QuickTime bell housing adapter to go to the 2J. And that's a GE junkyard motor I bought for $500, but Jay spec'd out some Brian Crower cams. He did the top end on it. He spec'd the precision turbo. It's got a Motec running the whole thing, and it's super fun.
I'm kind of, this thing's a lot cooler.
Yeah. Okay, so season 2 of Roadkill, I talked Freiberger and the suits into giving me $7,500 to go buy a used NASCAR type deal. Not a real NASCAR, but something else, something 3 tiers below that, a road course car. And I bring it home because it had a small block Chevy, it had a Jericho clutchless 4-speed, and it had a quick change rear end in it. And my plan was, we just put all that under another car, you know? And for years, they wouldn't let us do it because they didn't want us VIN swapping anything. They didn't want the legal problems.
Legalities, yeah.
But I don't know what happened. One day, Freiberger came home with a 1970 Monte Carlo, and somehow that was okay for them. So we body swapped a 70 Monte Carlo onto that NASCAR chassis. And if you come over here, what's weird about this car is the wheelbase was all wrong. The Monte was way long. And so we cut a foot out of the door and then just welded the quarter panel to the door, but that left the problem of the roof. The roof's way too long. So we cut the roof off of the car and just slid it back, and now the sail panel lands practically at the end of the quarter panel. Which
I think it's a very cool, unique look on a good take on a Monte Carlo.
Yeah. And then over the years, it got used for a bunch of different Motor Trend shows, and it got crashed a bunch. And so currently it doesn't run. I think the motor's locked up, but more importantly, the whole back half of the body broke off. It is bent down, which that might help aerodynamics. I don't know. But that is the Roadkill NAS Carlo, for those that are wondering.
And then what's in the corner here?
One of my neighbors, real nice guy, calls me after like 8 years of living here, and he knew I'd always wanted a C2 Corvette. He's got a 6-second cert, small tire, 63 split window vet.
Okay.
Like, it's badass. He's like, I got another one. I haven't told you about it, but it's been hiding in my garage. And I go into his basement, and under a cover was this. And I'm like, 67 Corvette. And he's like, no, it's a 63 split window with the wrong nose on it. And I walked around to the back, and sure enough, there's a split window body sitting there. And he had the frame, and he had a frame at one house. This was under his basement. The rear end was somewhere else. And so someday we'll put together a 63 split window vet.
As a Corvette guy and a guy that has a C2, I'm jealous that you have a coupe right here.
Dude, I love the coupes. Convertibles are awesome, but coupes just look.
They just look so much
They're
better.
just different.
Okay, and before we glaze over it, there is an Astro van here.
Yeah.
And I would glaze over it if I knew it was a normal Astro van. I know it's not, though. So what am I looking at here?
Joe, close the rear hatch, because we got to do the reveal. So what you're looking at is essentially a GMC Cyclone or Typhoon in a minivan form. That is an all-wheel drive GMC Safari minivan. And I used to do this TV show called Faster with Finnegan, where we would hop up cars and race people and lose a lot. And we decided to make the Monsoon. And basically, it's a minivan.
It's even labeled Monsoon.
Oh yeah, this is the Monsoon. And it's a minivan, and when you open the hatch, she's rear mount turboed.
Liddy, come look at this thing. Oh my God.
There's some soccer balls?
Yeah, soccer balls.
Groceries? Those are not groceries. Golly.
Yeah, so they're STS rear mount turbos feeding the stock 4.3 liter V6, except it's all stealth. Like, you can't see it, obviously. And the charge tube runs under all the rows of seats. And when you want to go faster, you open the side door so your intercooler can get some fresh air.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You routed all the intercooler piping in the car.
Yeah, dude, nothing got welded. It's all silicone together. There's so many joints in this deal. And then it goes right up the doghouse into the stock throttle body there. Yeah, and it's not fast, but it has the potential to be fast. Like, one day, my dream is to LS swap it and actually go fast.
This might be one of my.
I like
might be one of my favorites. Okay, I think that's all the cars we've seen here, but I think you have one more somewhere else.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I think it's a
The Lexus.
pretty serious race car.
We could go look at that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to drive one of these to go look at that?
Sure. Which one do we want to drive? Take Blasphemy over there? All right. All right, guys, we were going to take Blasphemy over to the race car shop to check out his Lexus, but it started to sprinkle a little bit. I don't know if you saw Blasphemy's tires. Slicks. Not great for rain. So we're going to take one of the other vehicles over. I think you and Mike are going to take the truck over, the OBS.
Yep.
That thing's going to be sweet. But he's going to hop in that. That's going to be our number 3. So Whitty's going to talk to Mike about the car, and then we'll show you guys the race car as soon as we get over there.
What year did you get this car or this truck then?
So I've only owned this truck for a year. I bought it in March of last year out of Texas.
Okay.
Drove it home, and then in October of last year did all of this for SEMA, which was in November. So I think we spent like maybe 45 days building the whole truck. Because the great thing about these things is you could pretty much build them out of a catalog. I don't think I maybe welded 2 things on the entire truck.
Really?
Everything else just fell together and bolted together, and
that's nice.
they're super easy to build. Like, this is a Texas Speed 434 long block that they rate for 1,500 horsepower. It's a hair-up supercharger that bolted on.
How much power you put into the wheels, roughly?
I have no idea.
What, you don't have like a range?
I told them, I'm like, 1,000's a good number.
Okay.
But we never dynoed it because I turned the key and 2 hours later loaded it on a truck for SEMA.
Oh.
And then it came home from SEMA. We street tuned it, and that was it. It hasn't been on a dyno. I ran it down an 8th mile drag strip one time, and it would not hook at all.
Which track were you at?
There's a uphill 8th mile old
Katy?
Paradise.
Okay.
Right near here.
When you said uphill, immediately the Katy dragway, I forget exactly where, I think Ohio. At the very end of the track, there's a 150-foot incline as the shutdown. A massive hill.
I saw your guys' video on that.
That was insane. What you're saying, are you saying the actual track was uphill?
Yeah, the whole track is uphill.
Oh.
Yeah, so this place called Paradise Drag Strip is a track that's been there since the mid-50s, and it was originally an NHRA quarter-mile track, but the cars got too fast, so they shortened it, like they all do. And this track is uphill. Like on the starting line in Blasphemy, if I don't hold it in place with the line lock, it rolls out of the beams. Yeah.
It's that bad?
It's that bad.
So then what are people even going there for? Because I would assume that has to hinder time to the point where it's not even like...
I think people go there because it's like old school, minimal prep, hard to get down. You know, if you can go fast there, you've kind of done something. And it's our local track. You know, the family that owns it is super cool. It's where I got the rubber duck, the yellow Firebird.
Okay.
That came out of a barn directly behind that track. The guy that built the track owned it. It's just a cool place. I go there every December. They have a toy drive for kids. We go there and hang out. And
that's pretty cool.
It's just a fun place.
Do you ever take this thing out just like with the family and go cruising it? Or is it one of the cars and trucks that kind of hangs out in the shop?
No, I take my kids to school in it. My wife and I go on dates. She wants tailpipes put on it because she says we can't talk.
Yeah.
You know, when we're driving.
Oh, no, this is perfect. We're talking just fine.
Yeah. But we're idling right now. She's not entirely wrong. At part throttle, it has a wicked drone and vibration in the cab.
Yeah.
Because the exhaust is dumping right under the back of the cab right now.
So maybe get on just like a little bit off the slide so I can see like just how loud it is.
Oh yeah, I mean you gotta know. When the light turns green, we'll
okay. I gotta see what she's talking about.
We'll give ourselves a quick glance.
Yeah.
Maybe my foot slipped off.
Yeah, whoops. It is a little wet. Shoes could be wet. So.
Yeah, you never know. It's a little loud.
Traction isn't great right now, but you know, damn, that sounds good.
There is zero traction in this truck. like I've had friends, I'd be like, you could drive it, but I just want you to know, it's just gonna go sideways. You got to be careful.
Yeah. This is sick.
And I'm sure you could adjust the shocks and try to help that a little better, and maybe put some other tires on it.
Yeah.
I just like it so much, I haven't done any of that. So
I like it. I like it too. I think it sounds good, feels good. It's pretty wild. Like, I know we keep mentioning it, but how clean everything is, it really just, it brings you back to at least when I was a kid, and you go right around the lake house with your friends' parents.
Yeah.
Everything just looks the same.
It's wild. Like, even the tape deck works.
That's rad.
Not that a lot of people have tapes, but I literally will go hang out with people and trade them FSM t-shirts for their cassettes.
Yeah.
Just so I have something to play in this thing.
Well,
I have 3 cars that have working tape decks, and I'm
cool.
like, well, we need something to play in there.
You
know?
were telling us about that collection down in the bathroom down there.
Yep.
And that's super cool. That's why you do it.
Yeah, this is where all the tapes go. Like right now,
Yeah, what
we've
are you
got
listening to right now?
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys.
And
Finnegan's listen to Beastie Boys.
This is as 90s as it gets because this is a 5-song cassette single that has 5 different versions of So What You Want on one tape. It's literally the same song over and over again with different DJs' ideas of how that song should sound.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely the 90s. Holy shit. That's what I was born in 93.
Oh my God, I feel old. That's the year I graduated, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I graduated in 93.
Oh man, yeah, that was a good year.
I agree. I was so happy I made it out. It's like,
Well, what'd you think?
Dude, that was amazing. First of all, so he's got the new modern suspension. So
How's it? It doesn't feel like an old truck.
No, it feels like a very new truck, and it sounds good. I'll tell you what, though, we have no traction. Going off the light there, may as well have been wet grass.
Yeah, dude, it didn't look like you had any traction there.
I like this.
Is this a good street truck?
Oh man, if I got a truck, this is it. This is nice. I see why Justin Keith messes with these.
Gotcha. Well, I think we're about to go see some really badass race cars.
No,
now.
that's a different one. This is where we're going.
Oh, there's multiple race car shops.
yeah. So that place across the street builds hot rods and street rods and trucks and all kinds of things. The building with no name is where all the really, really cool stuff
Gotcha.
is.
All right, well, let's go check it out. Dude, this is serious.
Yeah.
This has got so many bars.
Yeah, this is one of those drive it before you buy it things. I bought this because of some photos on the internet.
Okay, was this a Copart buy? Like, how'd you get the actual LC500?
So I saw this magazine story on the internet of this LC500. It was all white, all together, and it looked great. It was a roller. And at the time, that 63, that was going to be my drag and drive car until I sat in one with a funny car cage and realized I didn't fit, and there was no way I was going to fit in a C2 Corvette. Mm-hmm. And I saw this and I was like, that's the sexiest thing I've ever seen. I'd never even seen an LC500 on the road.
Really?
Yeah, had never seen one. I was just like, that's badass looking. And it was allegedly done. It was a roller. It was painted, the whole thing. And so I had somebody look at it who wasn't a chassis guy, and they're like, welds look nice. I think it's cool. And I was like, all right. So I bought it without ever seeing it in person.
Okay.
It shows up. Ryan takes one look at it. Ryan's the guy that owns this place. And he's like, dude, this thing's gonna kill you. I was like, what do you mean? We crawl into the car. Nothing's welded all the way around.
Oh.
All these bars that are already painted like it's done, they're not welded on the bottom.
What?
Some of the bars were in the wrong places, so it wasn't legal. Like, it was a nightmare.
So this was a rip it out and redo everything.
Everything that's bare metal is new. Got replaced.
That's
Very
the whole
little,
car.
very
Damn.
little of everything I bought is even in here.
So what's the oh my God.
That's not mine.
I was just like, that's a doorstop of a doorstop.
Yeah, that's not mine. That's
Okay.
so we're at RK Racecraft in Cartersville, Georgia. These guys do a lot of work with Proline. Like if you buy a Proline, drive package, a lot of times the car will come here to get turnkeyed. And they fab chassis, they do repairs, they'll build headers, wiring, plumbing, paint, whatever you need. This place is full of pro mods.
If you want a Lexus
Well, so
LS500.
I think Ryan felt bad for me.
Okay.
Because normally he wouldn't take on a job like this, but he's like, dude, you're gonna die. Bring the car to me and just don't cry when I give you the bill. And I was like, okay.
So what's the game plan with it?
So drag and drive. I want to get in the 200 mile an hour club at Hot Rod Drag Week. 6-second passes is really the first goal. Anything past that, I don't know. I don't really care.
What power plant, what drive line, tire size, what are we working with?
So it's a Noonan billet LS.
Okay.
Which is going to offend a lot of people.
Is that going to be a small LS or a big LS?
It's a 427.
Okay.
No, it's smaller. It's a 400. Steph from Ace Racing Engines did it.
Okay.
It's a roster 3-speed and 10-inch rear end out back, small tires. It'll be on a radial. Yeah.
Radial car?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
radial, small
Gotcha.
tire. I just liked the way the car looked.
Dude,
unfortunately,
LC500s look gorgeous.
oh, beautiful cars.
I've never seen one done as a race car. This is like a car I would think Ecanu, like over in Bahrain,
Yeah.
would do.
Well, and they have one.
They have
but
an
it's-
LC500?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's them specifically, but somebody over there does.
Gotcha.
But it's a pro mod, like stretch. You know, it's an LC500. This is literally a stock bodied LC500, which is, I didn't know, is a really cool car to begin with. The hood and the fenders are aluminum on these cars.
Not surprising. Probably super light.
Yeah, yeah. So I wish the front end was on, because the front end looks mean. Like they took the whole front end and made it removable, like the stock fenders and the hood and
it's
stuff.
all one piece now?
It's all bolted together, one piece.
Is that
And the
it?
hood still works.
That right there, the gray one?
Oh yeah, there it is. There's the front end of the car. So here's a fun story. This car was all white. I was worried, like, if I ever smack this thing up or somebody hits it, what am I going to do for parts? Well, it just so happened Toyota was about to crush their development car, and it had no VIN number. And so I knew someone over there, and they're like, yeah, we'll strip the parts off it for you. So I was
You
able
have the pre-production LC500 front end.
That's it right there. Yeah. That's one of their car show front ends. I got the doors, the fenders, the hood, the rear fascia. And,
Are you using the front end for the race car, and then you're just keeping the extra parts for just in case purposes?
the white parts are just in case, because they were kind of dinged up. Whoever built the car had kind of like done some janky stuff, like the rear fascia. They had put holes in it in weird places, and it just wasn't great. And rather than
Gotcha.
fix it, we were like, we'll just use these ones. So
This is cool. Let's go back to your shop and take out a couple more of your cars.
okay.
All right, we just got back to the shop. I believe they're making some modifications to our next car. Basically, he said, we can take out whatever cars you guys want to take out. And he doesn't really have a top three. He's like, I like all my cars. What do you guys want to take out?
Yep.
I said vet car.
Yep.
So they're making some modifications to vet cart. Let's go check it out. So this is how this is how the driver gets into vet cart right here.
Oh yeah, this is the easiest way to get in the vet car, is right through the roof. The passenger, you don't have as much room, so you got to go through the window.
That's fine.
Sorry,
I'm
Fred.
used to getting into race cars.
My youngest kid and I went to a car show a couple weeks ago on this, and he had me put the towel down because the seat was too dirty for him. He's like, Dad, I'm gonna get all muddy. Okay, there we go.
I love this car.
I'm honored to be in this thing right now.
Dude, that makes me so happy.
This is the grandfather of every vet car ever made.
Oh, dude, I love this car.
Are we waiting for them or are we just going?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll wait.
I'll pull out front.
Go out front.
Uh-oh.
Does it have gas?
I think so. It's EFI and it has a surge pump. You got a hammer? There we go. The little Holly crappy red pump is working just fine. The expensive $1,000 surge pump sometimes decides not to work. And we're back.
Hey! Is this a 4+3? Fancy!
Doug Nash.
Take this with you?
I don't think that thing's running, bro.
Come on, vet cart.
Come on, vet car. Fred finally gets to ride in it. It doesn't want to cooperate. I got the right screwdriver.
I
don't
think you
understand
got the
why
right
hard.
key.
Yeah.
Don't want to do nothing right now, huh?
Well, you want to pick a different car? It's not a good look. See, you don't have to script these car shows, kids. You just drive old junk. They all break. Every single one of them.
I wish we could have scripted this. I couldn't have thought this up.
Scripted it without us getting rained on.
All right,
Okay.
consolation prize.
Consolation prize.
We couldn't have scripted that. There's no way we could have. The car literally just died when we pulled out.
I know. Has that ever happened during one of these?
Now, like I said, we broke Kyle's car, broke the R8.
Kyle broke Kyle's
Kyle broke Kyle's
Kyle
car.
broke Kyle's car. Yeah, as a guy who doesn't want to fix an R8, it wasn't me either. I was not there. No.
Hopefully
But if
it's just
this breaks, no problem. We can fix it.
Deal. Okay.
So the story with this car, I just talked to the guy who found it. It street raced LA in the 60s and 70s, got parked, and it sat under a lean-to in Palmdale, California until recently. And when Gil from Hot Rod Ranch scooped it up, he sold it to Derek from Vice Grip Garage. I traded the green truck to Derek for the orange car, and I just drove this thing home like 230 miles. And she's a pooch. Super quiet, very comfy.
It's quiet.
Power windows, like all the things you want, Fred.
Okay. All right.
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth?
All the Bluetooths. Big stereo. Yeah. It's got so many vents in here. We got a vent in the tunnel, a vent in the firewall, a vent in the cowl.
I can see the vent in the tunnel. I can kind of see the daylight coming through there. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, don't worry. We won't have any fires. There we go.
Oh, nice and quiet.
Oh, yeah. When I drive this, I like to imagine that this is just how it was in the 40s. This is what people drove. They heard these noises, they felt these vibrations. All right, we got voltages, we got oil pressures, we got coolants, we're good. Thought for sure that was about to hit that truck. Oh my God. That would have been funny. So is this your first crappy 1940 Chevy experience?
This is probably definitely my first 1940 Chevrolet experience.
All right.
So what's the power plant in this thing?
This is a big block Chevy. Allegedly it's a 454, but nobody really knows for sure. Nobody knows a lot about this car. Allegedly, it was like the terror of Van Nuys Boulevard in California in the 60s or 70s.
So it's like a legit old school street race car that was legendary.
That's what I've been told. But as far as how fast it was or who owned it, I do not know.
What's your plan for it?
Well, what I've been doing is did you ever hear about the one red paperclip guy?
I don't think so.
All right, so way back in the day, there was a guy who just put a red metal paperclip online for trade. And he kept trading until he got a house.
What?
Legit, he just kept trading up.
Are you doing that with cars?
So I'm trying to do that. I dug a 1960 El Camino out of the woods behind a friend's house. Just rotted out hunk of crap. I traded that for the 86 Cadillac on airbags. I traded the Cadillac for the green 53 Chevy truck. I traded the truck for this. I'm gonna fix it up a little bit. And originally I was gonna trade it for whatever the next car is. The problem is I really like this. And so
You got yourself in a pickle.
I'm in a pickle because I don't want to shortchange the audience. I want to keep going trading, but also I'm kind of not in a hurry to get rid of this because I think this would make a cool gasser. Like it's pretty close to being a cool gasser already.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I shouldn't work on this. This is a running, driving, cool car. I should just give it a bath and trade it away. But do I have the willpower to do that? I don't know. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. And just kill Han Solo.
So does this car do anything well?
It does pretty good burnouts.
Oh really?
Yeah. I mean, mainly you just drive around and look cool. It does that really well.
Okay.
And it does do good burnouts. But other than that, like, the big block is nothing special. The suspension is, like riding over railroad tracks at all times. Like, Oh, you know what this car does really well? It does not overheat.
That's actually a pretty good thing to do well.
Yeah.
Especially for an old car.
Yeah, it just, 190, that's what you get the whole time.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it works for me. I got pretty low standards, but that's good enough for me. So this is the sports complex that I'm banned for life at. They got bowling, rock climbing,
What'd you do?
indoors. I stopped a Little League kids game doing a burnout. Not on purpose. It just, I needed the end to a video. And we had just put a supercharger on a ramp truck. And between the beach volleyball courts and the Little League fields is a road that dead ends at the top of a hill with a cul-de-sac. And I thought I was doing the right thing on a Sunday by going to the end of the cul-de-sac where the road was closed to do my burnout. The problem was the truck was so loud. There were 3 games going on at once. Everyone stopped playing. All the little kids turned around and looked up at the hill at this giant green ramp truck doing the burnout. And a couple months later, the cops came into my house and issued me a citation, and then had me sign a thing saying if I ever returned there, I'd be arrested.
Oh, for doing a burnout?
Yeah. Yeah, so this place is rad. They have minor league ball fields, soccer fields, all kinds of things here. And you see the lights. That's Little League with lights. And just up there that's where I, allegedly did the burnout. So if you could build any car to go do a drag and drive with for yourself, what would it be?
One of my Mercedes wagons.
Oh yeah, dude, that would be cool.
I have a nice Mercedes wagon that's bagged, and then I have one that's a beater wagon. I would love to put an LS twin turbo setup in that and go racing.
Yeah,
That would be it. Other than your, I guess your Lexus and your Cadillac, do you have anything else that you're trying to build?
no, that's all I can handle right now.
Fair.
Oh my god.
I just saw you in the corner of my eye do this and nothing happened until you got like an inch into it.
Yeah, you just let it do what it's gonna do, and eventually you just rein it back in.
That's how my Corvette was for a while. It's more of a suggestion wheel than a steering wheel.
Yeah, it's not a. That car is gonna do what it wants for a little while, and then you got to be a little more, firm with it.
I think the combination of the suspension and the seat, you just don't feel anything really.
I know
It just glides over just about everything.
I haven't had too many seats that when you sat in it, you dropped 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches, like wild.
So what'd you think of that one?
It's never ridden in something like that before. You get sensory experience the entire time. It's almost like it's convertible because like there's so many holes in it. You hear everything, you smell everything. It's very raw, I guess you could say. I don't know what we're taking out next, but we got one car left. Would you say this is a quiet or the quietest car you own?
It's extra schmedium.
Okay.
It's not as loud as like a fighter jet, but louder than a Yugo. So it's somewhere in that
Gotcha.
range.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's not a bad range.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you from the outside, that was the coolest one.
Yeah, well, that was an experience. I love this car. It's one of my favorite cars he's built. You've built a lot of cool cars, but this is well, we've seen this one race. We've seen it do cool stuff. Right. So it's really cool being inside of it, and it's really actually a really good street car, to be honest.
I like it. It's you know, it stops okay, it drives okay, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah. The double overdrive, I kind of want to put a T56 in the vet now. I have a 4-speed with the gear vendors, and it doesn't quite do that.
Oh yeah. So, the 56, you have to cut your tunnel a little bit in your car.
I cut the tunnel up a lot with the gear vendors.
Oh, well then you're already there. You're already there. Perfect.
Well, thank you very much for letting us come out and annoy you for the entire day.
Oh, dude.
All your cars at 3 different shops. I don't even know which car my favorite one was, but I've seen a lot of these cars on videos, never in person. So it was really cool to be able to see them in person and get to spend the day with you.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm honored. Like, I've been a 1320 fan forever, and I've seen Mr. Sam's, I've seen Cletus's garage tour. Like, to be in that company is kind of a big deal for a guy like me. So thanks, Fred.
Well, dude, thanks again. Thanks again. If you guys know a collection cooler than this, you probably don't, but if you do, put it in the description below or put it in the comments below. We'll check them, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.
Later.